Growing up in Bogota, Colombia, I would play hide and seek in my father's apartment, and I would usually hide in the backside of his apartment where he had a makeshift photo darkroom. And every time that I step into a photographic darkroom, the smell of photographic chemistry, such as the developer and the fixer, immediately take me back to my childhood. In 2002, for my birthday, my mother gifted me a video camera, which was completely transformative in my development as an artist and as a person interested in visual culture. That camera was the tool that I used to see the world. I recorded myself, I recorded my family, my friends, but I also recorded the television. And from a young age, I was very interested in the news and history. And being between the US and Colombia as a teenager, I immigrated to the US when I was a teenager. I would go back to Colombia for the holidays and for summer breaks, and I would record the news, and I would use the news to record myself performing as a newscaster. And so my earliest work as an artist stems from this interest of the news, stems from this interest on video, understanding the world through images and video. On Sundays, my father would send me out to buy the Sunday edition of El Tiempo newspaper, which was this thick newspaper that had all kinds of stories related to national news, international news, sports, arts, culture, the economy. Every Sunday they would get accumulated. And I remember this stack of newspapers that through time would start yellowing. In my childhood, I was oftentimes very much surrounded by current events. I'm recalling this extensive encyclopedia that I would look at and sort of read and look through images and the history of the world, and was very curious about geography and like the history of how we arrived at this moment in time. The role of archives are very much a form that I'm using at that moment, and certainly throughout my practice as an artist, which is saving things that will come in handy, archiving videotapes that 15 years later I'm revisiting and reconsidering and what they say and what they mean. As an artist and certainly as an adult, I reflect on all of these intricate ways in which news and histories are fabricated in some way to narrate a particular point of view. So when I think about archives, and specifically my own archive as an artist, is to demystify, deconstruct, rethink the process of how all of these tools are constructed or how they're presented in the world. I became very interested in the history of dance and performance after witnessing a very beautiful black and white photograph of the artists Yvonne Rainer and Steve Paxton from 1962, in which they were mostly nude and were performing a choreography titled Word Words. I had no formal dance background or performance background, and that image really pierced my mind and became the gateway of me becoming very interested in the history of performance.
Aí, é o Chacalá, é o fechador com o Bilade.
And I started being very curious about dance history and practices. And it was through images, and particularly photographs of dancers, that I started building an understanding of choreography and the archive in relation to the human body. Images that were about ritual, that were about performance. So vases from ancient Greece of bodies performing all kinds of fertility rituals. manuscripts from the Ottoman Empire of different sex dances, of men penetrating each other in a circle. So many of the images that I choose are images that are inherently very queer, are very much about resisting a binary understanding of gender, a normalized way of thinking about the human body. The archive became a way to build on a visual history that is in resistance to a normalized understanding of sexuality. So in using those images and using all of that material to build performative work is a way to try to embody a legacy and a history of the past that lives through images and that documents the practices of a people from the past.